on the rooftops, but no one ever seems to want to listen.
Well, hello, you wonderful mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Right then, so, been about, 2021, when all the financial misgivings with Nicola Sturgeon and her husband, Peter Murell, kicked off. And then it all went very, very quiet. I mean, not heard much about anything, really. But, it's not surprising. But I hope, before a warning, please make sure you're all sitting down before I say this. Put all your hot drinks down. Stay away from your keyboard and clear your mouth. There's nothing in there. Because the police in Scotland diligently did their job. Okay, you all right? Just checking, because I know it's a rare thing that the police actually do something right and actually do their job. But we'll bring up the article, because it's got a nice little timeline which sort of sums everything up nicely. So let's get it up there. So, Nicola Sturgeon's husband, Peter Murell, charged by Police Scotland. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They've arrested him and actually charged him with an offence. Oh, sorry, I should give you a warning. You've probably spit tea all over your keyboard or screen after that. But in any case, so, an investigation into the party's funding and finances has been ongoing since July 2021. May 2021, MP quits party finance role. Douglas Chapman resigned from his role as treasurer, somebody else who's in trouble, saying he had not been given enough information to do his job. Senior figures in the party, including Ms Sturgeon, later disputed his assessment. Joanne Cherry, a vocal and internal critic of the party's leadership, also resigned from her role on the National Executive Committee, the NEC. The first rumblings of a problem. Then in July 2021, the police have opened an investigation into financial irregularities in the SNP. So, Police Scotland confirmed they were investigating after 7 complaints were made around the donation to the SNP. This followed allegations that £600,000 raised for campaigning towards Scottish independence had been diverted elsewhere. It's a lot of money. Excuse me. Earlier, the police said they had assessed a fraud allegation relating to £600,000 of funds to determine if an investigation is required. The party said all sums raised for independence campaigning will be spent on independence campaigning, except for £600,000 of it, which disappeared. So we now go to August 2021. The party accounts acknowledge a concern. As the party's annual accounts were published, Treasurer Mr Beattie acknowledged there had been a concern about the transparency over the independence-related appeals that had raised more than £600,000. In a section of the accounts, Mr Beattie discussed money raised by the referendum-related appeals since 2017, and he said that £666,953 had been raised up to the end of 2021. With a total of £51,760 expenditure applied to this income. The money was earmarked through internal processes, he said, although the accounts did not officially record a separate sum. So the £600,000 had disappeared from the books, which is slightly more than a concern, wouldn't you think? I know it's all about legal language. So in December 2022, loan to SNP emerges. In December, it emerged that Mr Murrell had loaned the party £100,000 in June 2021. The party said it was to help with a cash flow issue after the election. That year, Miss Sturgeon said the resources that he lent to the party were resources that belonged to him. Him being my husband. Then, in February 2023, the poison little dwarf Jimmy Cranky Nicola Sturgeon resigns. Miss Sturgeon stunned the political world by suddenly announcing resignation on February 15th because she knew she was in deep doo-doo. She said this was not in relation to the short-term pressure, but knew it was in her. She knew her head and heart at the time was the right thing to go. No, it's because she knew she was in financial shite. During her Butte House press conference, she was asked if she expected to be interviewed in relation to the investigation. She said she did not because, of course, it was my husband that made all the incorrect errors. There's nothing to do with me. I'm resigning because it's the right thing to do. It's nothing to do with the fact that £600,000 has gone missing. No. It's the right thing for me to do at this moment in time. And then the Scottish Parliament got somebody, or the Scottish people, should I say, got a bit like Rishi Sunak and got given somebody that no one had voted for in charge under the dictatorship installed. I mean, it is the definition of dictatorship. If somebody becomes a leader of something without any fair election, it's a dictator. So, and look at the mess that Hamas useless has managed to deal with so far. Any case, then in March 2023, Peter Murell resigns. Amid SNP leadership contest to replace Mr Sturgeon, Mr Murrell announced he was stepping down as the party's chief executive, a role that he had for more than 20 years. It came during a row over the party membership numbers, which also led to media chief Murray Foot stepping down. Membership numbers had dropped by about 30,000 in the past year, something the party had previously denied, because everybody could see what a corrupt bunch of arseholes you really were. And £600,000 going missing for money raised for the independence part thing that you wanted to do, which is the only thing that the SNP stands on. I mean, they've destroyed everything else in Scotland, but and that had gone missing. So, yeah. Then in April 2023, Peter Murell arrested as police searched premises. Mr Murell was arrested on the morning of Wednesday, the April the 5th. There was a large police presence around his home in Glasgow, as well as the SNP's headquarters in Edinburgh. He was released without charge, pending further investigations, the very same day. Then, it gets even more complicated. April 2023, a camper van is seized. Poor camper van. On April 9th, a luxury camper van thought to be worth £110,000, that's a lot of money on a camper van, was seized by the police investigating the party's finances. Then also in April 2023, Treasurer Colin Beattie has been arrested. On April 18th, party treasurer Mr Beattie was arrested and interviewed police. His role was to oversee the party's finances. So that's Mr Murrell, Mr Sturgeon and Mr Beattie so far. Although Sturgeon hasn't been arrested, I bet her butt cheeks are clenching quite tightly now. Then, in April 2023, SNP appoints a new treasurer. Stuart MacDonald was appointed SNP's new treasurer on April 22nd after Mr Beattie stood down with immediate effect while he couldn't be there because, as it says here, he'd been arrested. The 44-year-old MP who represented Cumbernauld, Kurt Klinklock, I'm saying this wrong, I do apologise to my Scottish followers, and Kilsyth admitted it would be a difficult and challenging time for the party. Well, it would be because you're missing a shed load of money. Oh dear. May 2023, SNP appoints a new auditor. The party appointed AMS Accounting Group on the 3rd of May 2023 after its previous auditor, Johnson Carmichael, stood down in September 2022, probably realising there was a bit of doo-doo coming their way. The party was subsequently able to file accounts before the crucial deadline, which would have seen Westminster Group miss out on £1.2 million worth of funding, which probably would have gone missing. And then, June 2023, which is why I hadn't said because she hadn't been, but now she has, Nicola Sturgeon has been arrested. The former First Minister and SNP, because I mean, she resigned because she knew it was the right time to go, because, you know, it is when your head and your heart are telling you to go, it's time to go. Nothing to do with the fact that I'm having an impending arrest. No, honestly, I'm doing it for personal reasons. What you mean? My husband's took a lot of... No, it's nothing to do with that. So, she was voluntarily arranged with Police Scotland to be questioned. Voluntary. Yeah, it was one of those ones. It would look better if you turned up without us coming to arrest you from your house. So, it would be wise. Really would be wise. Yeah, okay. To be questioned as part of the investigation into the party's finance, a spokesman said, like the other party figures, she was released without charge pending further investigation. I bet she's really, really booing it right now. Any case, upon returning to Holyrood, she said, the thing that sustains me right now is the certainty I've done nothing wrong. Okay. Your husband has. But of course, you might just sell him down the river to protect your own ass. And it wouldn't be the first time people have done that now, would it? July 2023, Sir Ian Livingstone says probe has moved beyond initial reports, which means they've actually started to do something else. Police Scotland's Chief Constable, Sir Ian Livingstone, gave an interview shortly before he stepped down from his role. Oh, this is like a shit storm. Let's walk away while I can. A lot of people are quitting over this before anything happens. He confirmed the police investigation, known as Operation Branchform, great name, sorry, bit of junk, had moved beyond the point of some initial reports were, and saying this was not uncommon in financial inquiries. So Ian said he would not put an absolute time frame on the length of the investigation, but it would be proportionate and timeous. In other words, we'll take our time. Because, and to be fair, and to be honest, fraud investigations are very, very complex. And they do take time, especially if you've only got a certain amount of people doing the job. August 2023, further comments from Sir Ian Livingstone, who's now quit. So, it's private, not police. See why he quit? The outgoing Chief Constable spoke to the BBC in August 2023, saying the police are duty-bound to investigate matters reported to them. Well, depends. Any case, he said our action and our investigation is in the interest of everybody involved because it will clarify facts and deal with the evidence and facts as opposed to rumour and innuendo. So the sooner this investigation is concluded, the better for everyone involved, which is a fair and reasonable thing to say. Angela Rayner, please pay attention. Yeah, okay. So, October 2023, finances probe a factor in by-election loss. Gets even more complicated. Following the SNP's defeat in Rutherglen and Hamilton West by-election, Hamas Useless said the investigation into the party's finances, along with the reckless actions of recalled MP Margaret Ferrier, played a part in the result. He said the party would regroup and come back stronger. No, people have realised what you are now, and I don't think you'll be around for much longer. January 2024. Oh, we're in this year now. Investigation has affected how public parties view. Well, of course. Speaking on BBC Radio 4 podcast, Mr. Useless said the police investigation into the SNP finances has clearly affected public perception of the party. Well, yeah, you've mislaid, shall we say, £600,000. But of course, this will be the convenient scapegoating excuse when you get absolutely battered in the next election. Because it won't be anything to do with your ridiculous laws and the way you've just literally abandoned Scotland to the dogs. No, it'll be this. He said that the inquiry had been one of the most difficult times to the SNP, and he must work hard to rebuild trust by instigating a hate crime law that criminalises everybody's thought processes. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. April 2024. Peter Murell has been rearrested. On the morning of April the 18th, 2024, Mr. Murell was rearrested by police and questioned by detectives. This took place just over a year since the police search of his home near Glasgow. He was questioned and later charged by Police Scotland detectives over embezzlement of funds from the SNP. He was released from custody. Mr. Murell is reported to have resigned his membership of the SNP following the charge. So if he's been found guilty, Miss Sturgeon must be pooing it. But we all know what will happen. It'll be Mr. Beattie and Mr. Murrell who are going to take and carry the can for this one. So she can just walk away absolutely scot-free. Because that's the way politics works, unfortunately. So there you have it. It'll be interesting to see if there's any more developments in this case. But as I said, I think it'll be just Murrell and Beattie who get done for this. And that'll be that. And Sturgeon will just stand in the background like she has been and keep her mouth quiet, shut, and hope that everybody just ignores the fact that she's around anymore. So, there you go. I'm done. So, until the next one.
Another time, another place.